Hey Ellie, how's it going? Good evening. Yeah, thanks, Sophia. Yeah, it's just some music from the YouTube, so it's their copyright-free music. That way, I don't get banned. I've only been banned for music, really, which is weird. Whatever. Changed a little bit. Changed all this. Wait, go and I'll talk about this too once it's done. Whole year and longer. 5 years, basically. And if you click there, it should go. There you go. Nice. Thanks, Ellie. Appreciate that. I won't be on too long live. Just for a few minutes here. It was weird on Twitter too. It should just pop up, but it didn't for some reason. Whatever. Oh, that's right. Different time zones. Yeah, it's only 6:42 p.m. here, West Coast time, January 21st, 2020. Best place to get the book will still be lulu.com, but it'll be on Amazon, Barnes & Nobles, all those good places. But you can always get it free. Download that puppy right now. Read it. Everything is source. If there's anything I missed, if there's anything I got wrong, I want to be open to that. I want people to let me know that, because they're looking out for me. Which I do appreciate, always. 238 pages. Some of those will be blank because of the way that it goes into the printed format, so don't be surprised if there's a lot of extra blank pages. That's done on purpose. It's okay. It's for the print version. Yeah, it's cool. I mean, if yeah, proofread it for sure. It'll need it. All right, I just want to take a couple minutes here. Thank you everybody for joining me, and we are live right now. And I finished the book, published it on January 20th, 2020. And put the link out there for everybody this morning, January 21st, 2020. So there is a free link, and let's just kind of go through that. Had some things, some issues with my website, I guess, or webpage, whatever you call this. So if you go to the graystage.wordpress.com, this should take you to the website. I need to get rid of this little picture here. I don't like that because when you click on it, it just goes nowhere. It goes to the same thing. So I don't know how that got in there, but I'll be taking that out. There's a quick link directly right here. I think that will take you to the book. And then this one just takes you back. And then this is a blog feed. So I haven't used WordPress that much. I didn't get too far with it. It's kind of clunky, but it's free. It's easy. And so what I've done here is, you just go to the web page and you can just click on read the book. This should take you directly to the URL where you can find everything you need to know about this book. You can purchase it or you can download it for free. These ads are WordPress, that's not me. So all you need to do is just scroll down here, and if you click on this image of the front, the spine, and the back of the book, that should take you directly to where you need to go, and you can download that directly. Shouldn't be any issue. There it is. There's a download. It's a little different on Firefox, but that's okay. 238 pages, front and back, is why you will see the because this was for print, front and back. So you'll see some blank pages. Like the first 4 pages are blank because they need that, and there's pages at the end that have to be blank. That's for lulu.com. That's for so that everything turns out right. So there it is. And so if you're wondering why there's so many blank pages, that would be why. I want to say hi to Sophia and to Ellie and to Nova Coco. Thank you all for chiming in here. You started reading it. Nova Coco started reading it too. Yeah, I'm curious to hear what everybody thinks about the book. What they like, what you didn't like, what I could have done better, things that were left out, if you thought that I missed something, or maybe even if there was stuff that didn't really need to be in there to tell this story. This story is just supposed to be focused on the public files that we got, the public crime scene photos, and then the quotes that various people have also made about this case too. So scroll down here. Got the table of contents. Gotta have a nice table of contents in there. Let's see. Sophia says, oh nice, how nice. Sophia says, I wish this would have come out at Christmas. It would have made a great gift. Yeah, that was the original plan, really, was to come out on Christmas Day. And, that was the day that's the date that is on Kamel's headstone in Texas. The date of her death is listed, is on that headstone as December 25th, which I thought was kind of weird. Because nobody really knows. So that was a weird date to put on there. Then I wanted it to be January 17th to mark the 5 years, and that didn't work out, but I think this worked out perfectly. So January 20th and then January 21st. So I just wanted to come on here briefly just to let everybody kind of know where they could get this book if you did want to read it, if you did want to purchase it. I'm just going to show you all that now. Yes, do an honest book review. It's very important. I'm just one person. This is just me looking at these documents, looking at all this stuff, conversing with so many researchers, talking with so many people on these conference calls. Books and books of just notes and endless talks with some of the best researchers that I've ever had the experience with. Whether things ended on good terms, bad terms, whether they had other issues, they had other problems that they had to go and they had to take care of, health problems. I want to make sure we all pray for Walter because he is he really needs some prayer. He was going to join us Friday, and he just could not join us. He wasn't able to. So please pray for his health and just to keep him in good spirits. And who knows? I would love to get him back on one of these days here too, because he was always somebody that I could always bounce ideas off of, and always someone that I could uh, just kind of say, what do you think about this? And it's good to have those people, and he was one of the first that I ever had. We're talking about September 11th, the Bohemian Grove, the New World Order, John F. Kennedy, all of that stuff. And so when the David Crowley case came up, I kind of bounced some ideas off of him, but it really wasn't until we did the live show where it was just he and I, and we were just talking about, I forget what episode of Heart Talk that was, but and he starts asking me questions, and that's what it really is, and that's what really has helped me grow. What has helped me get to this point is, he's like, well, okay, what about this? What about the government hit? What about, and we would just play out all of these different things, and it's really nice to have people like that. It's really good to have people who you can bounce those ideas off of, and yeah, I'm just blessed to have so many people that I've been able to do that with. Dan Hennon too. He was another one before this case, and we were talking about other cases, mostly about the Philip Marshall case, which is very similar to the David Crowley case in many ways. So, and then of course I always blame Dan Hennon for even getting me involved in this case. But I think it wasn't really anything that Dan could have really said that would have made me go, oh, okay, there's something weird here. It was just like, I really had to look at it for myself. I had to look at this and try to research, find as many documents as much as I could. And I do wonder, if we wouldn't have gotten all of the documents, all of the crime scene photos that we have now, I wonder how that would have changed my view on this case. And I probably would have leaned more towards the fact, or not the fact, but I probably would have leaned more towards the theory that David Crowley was guilty. I would have been a lot more open to that possibility. It's only because we were able to get these documents. It's only because we were able to get these crime scene photos. It's only because we were able to talk to people who were tied into this case in different ways. And that took a long time. It took effort. It took me a very, very long time. Anybody who knows me knows that I move very, very slow, if I move at all. And that's what I did here. I move slowly. I wrote something called A Gray Shame, maybe 15 pages, maybe. And that's where it all started for me. That's when I started getting calls and having weird things happen, and I was reached out to by people who should not even be reaching out to me, and that's when everything kind of became weird. It was like, okay, now you're trying to, you're not just posting things, now you're trying to actually look into this case. And I think that's when the weird things started happening. And I know a lot of you have also had that happen too. It's when you get serious about asking questions, wanting to know what happened in this case. That's when a lot of the weird things happen. A lot of the weird games and all that stuff happens. And, that just kind of pushes us forward. That makes us want to keep researching and to keep looking into this case to find out what happened. So, that's what I did. I asked Dan Hennon to write the foreword to my book, and he did. I think it's about 4 pages. I hope the font is okay, because I really wanted it to be in this particular font here. That was very important to me. And it was very nice of him to take the time to write that. And we've looked at a lot. We've gone through a lot. And I plan on doing a lot more research with Dan Hannon and with a lot of these other fellow researchers that I've come to have a great deal of respect for. And every day, meeting more people, hearing more people's views on this, that helps me. That helps me grow as a researcher. That's all that I want. That's all that I could do. And sorry if I sound a little tired. I'm very tired, very groggy, and very very juiced about this. And at the same time, it's like a bittersweet thing because of how serious this case is and because of what happened, how brutal this is, what happened to these people in this case. And how clear it seems that there is, even if you didn't want to say that there was foul play involved in this, and even if you really wanted to keep an open mind and say, okay, David's guilty, let me go find out where that proof is, which that in and of itself is not keeping an open mind, obviously, because that's jumping to conclusions. And so the best researchers have been able to kind of, just keep at it, keep chipping away, and keep asking questions. The more data that people have, the more data that we can give them, I just think the more people are going to see what most of us here are seeing publicly, and what I think that family members and even friends, they understand this privately, whether they will go public with it or not. So this is not this is not my view of what happened. That's not what this book is. It was never meant to be like that. It was never going to be like that. Anybody who's read anything that I've ever done should know that. It was very clear how I was going to write this, what I was going to do. This was never going to be a case of writing something to make money off of it. It was never going to be a case of tricking people and then one day turning and saying that I always knew that David Crowley was guilty or something like that, which has happened. I've had people question me about that, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with asking me about that. I don't have any problem with that, but I can only be honest with you. I can only tell you that we're real researchers looking into this, and I hope that this book will help other researchers kind of get caught up on this. So I'm just kind of scrolling a little bit through here, through some of the forward from Dan. Yeah, it's about 4 pages. Thought it was good. Now there was things that I did take out, and I don't know, maybe in a future show, I'm thinking maybe we can just, those might make good subtopics that we can bring up later on. That's what I'm hoping. So let's see. Okay. Ellie says, at this point, I think it's fair to say that they were slaughtered. Yeah, well, I mean, I think that's where it comes into play, where it's like you look at all of the blood, all the stuff that is in the house. I know there's not blood where it should be, but I'm talking about where the blood is, and on that wall, there shouldn't be any blood on that wall. Why would anybody ever write anybody else's name in blood on that wall? And why is that just kind of glossed over? But so yeah, they were slaughtered. If you look at those bodies, look at what happened to those bodies. They were slaughtered. The only way that they can say that they weren't is to say that it was after their death, which is that's also weird too. There's something very weird about them just kind of jumping the gun on that. Um, Nova Coco says, "Hey Greg, do you know if they will ship the book to New Zealand and how much for it in NZ dollars?" I'm not sure about that. Um, I know we can go and take a look over there. It might be different because it will be on Amazon and Barnes and Noble probably in like another week. I think it takes a little time there, but I don't know if, let's see, if you guys have New Zealand. I don't know if they have. So if you go to lulu.com, I guess that would probably be the best way. If you can get there, then you would know that that you could make that purchase. So I'm not really sure, but I do know with your Amazon, yes, you can do that. So if you want to wait, wait maybe another week or two, or else I would say just go here and see how far you can get. Um, they should be able to send it to you. Maybe there's somewhere that I can check on that actually here while I'm here to see. But I do believe they are in Europe, so I do believe they are in the UK, New Zealand, Australia. I could be wrong, but yeah, I think they should too. So you can definitely check that one out. See if there's anything else. I think that really was about it. I just wanted to kind of jump on here and let everybody know where they can go, where they can get the book if you want to get that in a free download. And I also put it right here. I need to move this up. Actually, the Gray Stage book should be one up. But you can also just go. You can just go to thegraystage.wordpress.com. Scroll down to the bottom, and where all of the documents are, I've also added the book link there. So you can just now that's for the free version. You can just download that free PDF right there. To get the paid version, you want to go to lulu.com, put in Greg Fernandez Jr., or you can just go to my website, thegraystage.wordpress.com, and just click on where it says the Gray Stage book. And from right there, you'll scroll down. I'll be adjusting some of this. There's way too much going on here, but and you go to available.now. Boom, that'll take you to the lulu.com link. Or you can just go and purchase a physical copy here. That'll take you to the same place. And then very soon, once it's on Barnes and Noble and all of the other online places, I'll have those links up there too. So try to make it as easy for anybody who wants to. For the signed copy, that's what I'm working on now, and I was gonna kind of ask what everybody thought about that. With the signed copy, yeah, I gotta figure out the best way. Maybe I'll set up. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I just say, hey, send me $15 to my PayPal, and then I'll with your shipping address where to ship it, and then I'll ship it back signed. I think that might be the easiest way. I don't know. I'm trying to think of the easiest, fastest way to actually do that. So that might be the easiest way, and then I'll just order it and have it sent out there. I don't know. I'll figure all that out. But I'm gonna go let my cat in 1 second here. You're okay. Okay. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up here. I just wanted to kind of make it clear where everybody could get that if they wanted to. And oh, I did add. Let me go back. Is this still the main page here? No, it's not the main page. I did add finally the phone records. So David's old phone number, Kamel's old phone number, David's new phone number, and Kamel's new phone number. I've added those four in there. I also added the military record, David's military record, so if anybody wants to see that. I don't know if there's anything that I missed. I always feel like, oh, I should have added this, I should have added that. Maybe there's a few other documents that I missed, and there might be, so I'll have to go back and see if there's any ones that I missed. But hopefully I've added everything here, all of the public documents that we have so far. Hey, Patty, how's it going? Thanks for joining in. Oh, the kitty. Yeah, I could have her sign it. I'm sure she would. She's been a big part of this too, huh? Been a big part of this. And I'll have to get rid of some of this stuff here. And I don't know. I might even break it up into different chapters and have those different chapters there too. But the next thing that I really want to do, hopefully they don't play any music, because apparently I'll get banned if anybody plays any music. But this will be the next step. This will be where the book gets turned into an audiobook, and I'm looking forward to that process. Yeah, I think that'll be the final step there, I think. Blue poster paint, like so. Yeah. Okay, Patty, we can do that. Definitely not red. Yeah, no red. No red paint. Only the good paint. And that's it. I don't know. Hopefully I didn't miss any documents. If I did, please let me know. There's the cell phone with the missing SIM card. And there's just so much that was not included into this book, and some of it was really hard to part with. It was hard to not include that in there, but it wasn't necessary. And Ellie's right. The more information, the better. So that's why the other information, we're not just gonna sleep on it. We're gonna do something with it. So we'll see. Sophia, regarding the footprint video that she made, I was trying to be considerate to the family. That's why I chose blue. That makes sense. Sophia, I don't know if you heard, we had somebody on who was, they left a comment, and they said that maybe to use a more oil-based paint next time, I think it was. I'll have to go back and look at that comment, but to get closer to blood, to get closer to what it would look like in blood. So, and it might even be good, if you're going to do some more of those tests, it might even be good to do some with a little bit of the blood, a little bit of the paint, a lot of the paint, because it does kind of look like there's not that much on David's feet. It doesn't look like there's a whole lot of paint there, a whole lot of blood there. Or, let me go back here. See, where is that one? Just for fun. So I did thin the paint with water. Yeah, I remember you commented on that. I decided against oils only because of cleanup. Okay. I mean, it was always the first thing that we thought, I think, was tippy toes, because it was just very little. There was none on the heel or anything. It was just in that certain area. So I think that's why it was a tippy toe. But I don't think we got this photo first. I think the first one that I remember seeing, had one of these prints here, and it looked like a hand. I mean, there was no doubt. And I think that's what this other area is kind of here. It might be a handprint. I don't know. When they sprayed it, and that was the first thing. But okay, so all of this, I think you guys called it cast off blood. A lot of that stuff. There's just so much that could be covered, so much that for whatever reason was left out. A lot of the things like that, because it was really just, the book was really just to make sure that it just focused on the actual documents, so that when we have these talks, when we're talking about are these footprints or are these fingerprints, or hey, I think they're footprints, you think they're fingerprints, that's fine. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Um, and I think there's still a lot of people who are just reading the actual documents. I think there's a lot of people who are just still trying to get caught up on what is in the 94 pages, because there is a lot of stuff in there, a lot. And anyone who's looked at those 94 pages already knows that there's way too much in there, way too much data. So I mean, the hardest chapter for me was probably the last one. That was really, and that was weird because I was expecting this to be the easiest one. The the Gray Stage chapter should have been the easiest chapter for me to write, because it's pretty much an expanded version of the very first thing that I ever wrote in regards to this case. And it's clunky, it's cumbersome, it's very convoluted, I guess. Everything just seems kind of jumbled and kind of just, but the point, what I was trying to do with this chapter was to make it like a timeline. This needed to be told in order, because this is how I remember this story, in this order here. Looking at everything, and instead of having, okay, we know David, okay, then we're going to go back, it needed to be as much of a timeline, as a linear timeline as possible, because I know that that is what's going to help people get caught up. It's what's going to be good for people like me who forget things, to go back and check these sources, to check these data, to check these facts. I'm hoping it's going to save us a lot of time, a lot of people a lot of time. And if it doesn't, that's fine too. I have no problem going over these things as much as possible. But the purpose here was to kind of give a linear storyline, kind of what we knew, what I knew, based on the facts, based on these documents, based on what they've said, what they've done, who said what, but mostly just based on the Apple Valley documents and the BCA documents. That's all that you really need here. That, to me, is more than enough for people to realize that this case, at the very least, needs to be reopened to give the investigators a chance to clear their name. If they don't want to clear David's name, at this point, they've got to clear their own name, because this just stinks. This just does not constitute a double murder-suicide. It just really doesn't. So, let's see. No 4-hour chat. No, I was supposed to already be done here. Okay, so let's see here. Fairly certain. Yeah, Sophia is fairly certain that it is a hand. Yeah, I could see maybe some of that being a hand. I don't think it's all handprints. I don't think anybody's walking on their hands here. I do believe these are footprint. I definitely believe this is a footprint. I definitely believe this is a footprint. But that doesn't make me right. And that doesn't make me scared to be wrong either, because it's not gonna do me any good to just think that I'm right. That's not gonna help. If I end there, I can start there, because I'm definitely starting there, because I do think that I'm right. I do think that these are footprints here, and I do think that the investigators, they have all separately documented those as footprints. But at the same time, I'm not closing the door on the possibility that they are handprints, mostly because of the one photo that shows what looks like a handprint in that same area, which is not those two footprints. There's something else there to the right of one of those footprints. So, anyways, Yeah, a lot of things were never tested. Patty says, I do think she was hit over the head a few times, cast off in hair and brain matter on chair. She might have been in a fight or flight and reached the floor. I don't know. Yeah, it's not a bad thought there. And Sophia says, no, the cast off was never tested. Okay, yeah, it wasn't tested. Well, the footprints were really never either. So, whatever. Oh boy, just another thing. I'm trying to get to that photo where they paint. They paint them blue, pretty much. So blue is definitely the right. I think blue is the right color for that because of that reason here. Let's see. Okay, so those are the ones, but I want to get to where they're painted, where they're sprayed. Should be at the bottom here. Here we go. So BCA 5013, to me, this looks like a footprint here. To me, when I look at it there, it does. This looks like the Greek foot, David's foot. So I don't know. I mean, they did all those tests. Where's the results on all of this stuff that they did here? I'd like to see that. Maybe we just don't have it, but I mean, this one here kind of looks like a fingerprint, so I don't know. It looks like a whole hand went down. But again, I don't think somebody's walking around on their hands and not using their feet. But that's all right. I'll just zoom in on this one here as well. So there's the D, there's the E. Yeah, so I mean, I don't know. It kind of looks like a foot, but then when they spray it, it kind of looks more like a hand. And that could be more. I mean, looking at it here, it looks like this looks like a foot, and then this one over here looks like a foot. I don't know what the heck this is over here. That looks like something else. But then there were questions about it being smeared, and or about maybe it was wiped up, and when they sprayed the chemical on it, they were able to trace what was actually wiped up. So all that stuff is good to talk about. It's good to discuss with fellow researchers if they're open to it. But it's I don't know. It just, to me, it was not one of the things that made it into the book. Another thing that was very important that didn't make it into the book. I don't know. It might have. I might have snuck it in there at some point. I don't think so though. Was the headphones, and how the headphones didn't have any blood on them, but the phone did, and where these things were found. Yeah, it looks like an empty your pocket deal. Now look at this yellow marker here. Since we're here, I'm going to go through this yellow marker. Okay, keep an eye on that yellow marker there, because when you look at the glass table where the teapot is and where the ring is placed later on and photographed, one of those yellow markers is there, and I can never really figure out what that one was. Come on. Let me see if it's in this set of photos or if it's in the Apple Valley ones. But it's where you can clearly see there's that yellow marker, and there's like a yellow piece of paper or something next to it. And it's just the weirdest thing. It's one of the oddest photos that I still kind of am like, what the heck is that? So let me see if I can find it. I will do my best to look for it before I know it's here, and then I will have to jump off very soon. But I just want people to look at this, and I'd like to get some views on this one. It looks like a piece of like yellow construction paper. It's just odd. Of course, now I'm not going to be able to find it. I'm sure. It might be in the Apple Valley crime scene photos. This was the first one, DSC 0238. So this was the first image that I ever saw of this, and it's like, if you look at where the E is next to the 14, that was like, okay, that looks like a hand to me. The others, I think, look like feet. This one definitely, this one even, I was kind of wondering, is that a dog paw? But look at all of this. Look at how all of this other stuff here. Does that show that something was actually wiped up? That's been a big question there. Okay, I'm gonna find, oh, maybe it's this one here. Yes, it is. Very quickly, very quickly. So I'm so burnt out, I'm gonna crash pretty soon here. Okay, this yellow marker. Okay, what is the yellow marker for? The other one was for the cell phone. So, there's orange markers and there's yellow markers, by the way. So, there you go. I don't know. What is this little piece of construction? I don't know, construction paper or something, but it's next to the weird photo of a pyramid, which looks like a black and white snake or something next to it. I don't know about that either. You can clearly see in here the ring is not there, so I don't know if the ring was already taken off or if it hadn't made its way onto this table yet. But what is this yellow marker here? So I'll leave you guys with that one for now. Yeah, and that should do it. So again, just everybody knows where to go, where to get this book. If you have a website, and if you want to host this, you want to download it, put it onto your own website, you're more than welcome to. I want to get this into the hands of as many researchers as possible. That is the goal. And the goal was not to get my view into the hands of as many people as possible. It's to get the documents, to get the information in these documents. So that is very important to me. That was one of the main things. I wanted to keep my personal views out of it as much as possible, as much as I could. I do have my own views on things, but I definitely wanted to stick to these documents as much as possible and just kind of be like a quick sheet for the thousands for the thousands of pages that we have, or hundreds of pages that we have of documents. A quick reference. When people say, oh, well, that sounds weird, then they can go and they can look it up. Source number this, source number that. I think 10 pages of sources, maybe even more, that just gives you where those sources are. So, and based on that, I think people will be able to understand that there's just nothing here to prove David Crowley guilty. Alright, Ellie says, like you said, a trail of breadcrumbs. Yeah, it could be. I mean, they just leave us little crumbs here, and so, let's find the meat in the breadcrumbs. How about that? Ellie says, a wise man knows he knows nothing at all, but I do know they were not killed there on that rug 100%. Yeah, I have a lot of people that say that and that think that, and when I listen to why they say that and why they think that, it's that helps me get a different view. It helps me get a different picture, and it helps me see maybe things that I'm not seeing here. So, I mean, I'm open to a lot of different things happening here. There are some things that I'm not open to. That I just am like, no, not even going to go down that rabbit hole, because it's not a rabbit hole. It's just a trail of crap. But, a trail of crap to somebody else might be a rabbit hole to another person. You just never know. But whatever road, whatever you want to look at, wherever you want to go, I hope that this book helps answer some of those basic facts. It helps answer some of the basic questions, giving you some of the basic facts that we have, that the public has. So when people try to tell you that these are not facts, Um, I mean, you can just say, well, this is what the document says. This is what these people say. You know, there's nothing in here in these 1,000 pages that show that David Crowley is guilty. And if there aren't any pages that show that he's guilty, then, you know, I think that's a good place to start. It's a good way to start. And for me, it's a good way to go back, to go forward, which I do many times in these cases. So, all right, everyone, thanks again. Really appreciate you all joining me here, and hope to be back. Probably won't be back this week with a live show, but hopefully next week. And I don't know if you have any topics that you would think that we might cover, let me know, and we will make sure to cover those hopefully next week. I think I'll grab some of the stuff that I did not put in the book, and we'll make that at least part of what we talk about. If we can get Christian back on, I want to hear. I want to hear from him about what our next step is for the documentary, for the real documentary. All right, everybody have a great night. If you have any thoughts about this image, DSC0254, please let me know. I'm trying to figure out what this yellow marker is. Forever, apparently. All right, good peeps. God bless you all. Have a great